Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Mike. I know we're in a really weird, awkward angle tonight for the stream. I have basically no space to do most of the stuff. I'm in a really tiny basement. So I'm going to do a half-ass unboxing here on the floor, and then we're going to go ahead and hop into the chair. I'm going to put my download information in there so we can get the software downloaded and ready to go. I have a cable right here that I'm going to hook up to a USB port that I have so we can test the unit on the floor and make sure it works before I go through the arduous process of tearing the rig apart and putting it on. So we're going to test it to make sure everything works, and then we're going to go from there and tear it down. Hopefully this isn't too long of a video. Hopefully I'm not sitting here for 3 hours tearing my rig apart. I've already went ahead and undone, you probably can't see, I've already undone some of the cables that have a bunch of ties on them to hold all my cable management in place. I've also undone a couple of bolts and whatnot. So I've already kind of prepped it a little bit, so it's not going to take too much time. But let's go ahead and hop into this, make sure I'm in frame here. So this is the last, or the only piece left from the old motion platform that we had and that I had to toss out because of the whole shenanigans that were happening. If you haven't seen what happened with my previous one, go ahead and check out those 2 videos. It's rather interesting, at least I think so. But this is all that's left. This is the top piece that would sit underneath the seat. We'll see here in a second, but I took that thing completely apart, so I kept this as a souvenir. So I'm going to hang that somewhere just as a reminder to try not to get screwed on eBay. So set that aside. But let's go ahead and get this unboxed. I have not opened this yet, so if it's broken, we'll see y'all. We'll see it together. This is going to be kind of a janky stream because it's just a. Let's see if anybody up there. It's just going to be like a hangout, put together, talk. If you guys hop on, have any questions, pop them up in the chat. So I keep looking over, see if there's any chat. If you guys have any questions, pop them up. I'll try to answer them. At one point, I will have my keyboard and mouse on the floor, so it might be a little hard to get things typed up. But I'll try to answer them live. But anyways, let's get this going. Pretty excited to get this open. As I stated in previous videos, probably not right away. I've wanted this thing for at least 2 years, minimum at least 2 years. I know it seems kind of stupid to want something like this for so long, but that's going to be on the top. But I have, so I'm just going to slide it out. And hopefully the noise isn't too bad. Thank you. If the audio is off, let me know. It should be corrected and fine now. My previous streams, I've had issues with audio. Come to find out that on my camera, if you have it in auto mode instead of selecting a scene for portrait or whatever kind of scenes you want to have outdoors, it for some reason ramps the audio through the roof and you can't control it. So it's getting a bunch of clipping and distorting audio. Anyways, it should be fine now. I've tested before the stream. So where's the front? Actually, this is upside down, isn't it? If there is a top. Yeah, it's telling me the top. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Again, this isn't going to be like a formal unboxing. Right, so the way it was wrapped in my previous video is not how this is. So we'll have to tip this over and kind of write it out. Not breaking anything. There we go. Nothing else in the box. Thank you. Back in here. So, kind of seems like I did it the right way, I think. Okay, so we got our cable bag. Look at that here in a minute. Instructions, which pretty sure we don't need those, but we'll refer to them if we need to. Hey, look at that, I did it the right way. Alright, open up and tear the box for me. So we got our side pieces, which I will be using, because I do have the GT Ultimate rig. Those look nice. So hopefully with good lighting, we can kind of show up close to what they look like. And this is a 2-piece, so some sort of piece of plexiglass or plastic in the back that's two-toned. So that's a nice depth 3D look to it, pretty nice. We're going to set these, won't break them, we'll sit over here. Again, this is going to be kind of a janky stream. I thought about just making it into a video, but I'd rather people see we build this in lifetime, and they'll get an idea of what it's like if they need to build it. So if I run into any kind of problems, you'll see what problems I'm going to face, and then you won't have to deal with those problems. So I kept this one from the other one. This is the butt kicker mount. I kept it just in case it breaks, because I've had to replace the butt kicker mount on my rig currently. So that is just a mount that will be bolted on. And I'll kind of show you my butt kicker here in a minute, but it's just a butt kicker Gamer 2, and it will, wow, really max 5 pounds. So it'll just clamp on here. I'm assuming it'll stick out, but we'll mount that later. I'm not going to mount that in this video. It's self-explanatory. It looks like it's 4 bolts. I'll mount all my accessories, my ship and all that kind of later. I just want to get the main unit on the chair, test it. After I'm done testing the floor, test and make sure it works. And then I'll do an actual first-hand experience video later. Let's go ahead and get this out of here. I'm scratching the bejesus out of it. I don't want to scratch this. Do we have something we can set on the ground? Artwork? No, I don't want to tear it just in case I need to send it back. Didn't think about that. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, shit. This thing is heavy. Oh, yeah. This thing's heavy. Down here. And over again. So there we are. And like I was saying, there's that top piece that I kept. Oh, you guys can't see. Oh, too far back there. There we go. Tilt up. Woo! This thing's heavy. So there's that piece that's up there. That's what I kept. But overall, it looks really good. Brand new, obviously. And any fans, I'm not covering up anything. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Just to run it for just a second or two. Alright, so let's go ahead and I need to take a picture of the serial number so I can enter it. I'm not going to show you guys that on my screen because just like anything like a password, you don't want to share it with people. We're not bleeding. That's cool. Where is the serial number? You good to know, right? Aha. Of course, we stick it on the bottom. Good spot for it. Oh, that was blurry. There we go. Down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get this in the frame. And then I'm going to come over here and I am going to pivot the camera. Again, sorry, this is all janky. I'm not a professional, so it's going to be what it is. You're going to be looking at my butt here for a little bit because I don't want my screen being shown. So I'm going to enter my password, and I could do screen share. You know what, I'll do screen share. I'll switch over back here in a second after I get my serial number in, because after that it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so serial number, no dashes. And enter. What do we got? Invalid serial number. Are you sure? Please enter serial without the dashes. I did. Alright, well, let's try that again. Well. Big serial number. Why is it saying invalid serial number? Is there something wrong with my serial number? Without the dashes, that's what I did. Wow, okay. Bear with me here. Did they not initiate my platform? I swear to baby Jesus, if I have problems with this one, I'm going to be a little upset. So let me go ahead and, all right. So I'm not being an idiot. I'm going to say they haven't activated this one yet, which is going to be slightly irritating. Which I don't know how you can do that. And I know this is the serial number because I used this prior on my other unit that I got to download software, and it allowed me to. So it's saying invalid. Herpaderp. Okay, well let me go back to Google. Maybe there's something I read at the website. I don't know. So, all right. Let's go. Let's go to the page, and there should be a download section at the bottom of it. Assembly specifications, compatible facts, customer gallery. Don't care about that. So go back to the download section. Drivers and downloads. Content is password protected. To view, please enter your password. Okay, well, password is my serial number. I wasn't told by NLR Racing that I had to contact them prior to trying to install this. It'd be kind of crappy if I have to just stop this string and cancel it because I can't continue on. Well, it's not letting me do it. So what in the hell is going on? It's like one thing after another. Issues, constant issues. I'm not entering this wrong. All right, person, come here. Just so you're verifying that I'm not an idiot here on live YouTubes, right? So here's the S-N is the serial number, right? You see it right there?
Yep.
Okay, watch me enter it. It says without the dashes. Okay, we'll do that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Enter. It's not letting me. Oh my God. So am I gonna have to? There's no point in continuing on. If
please download this one.
Davey, what's that? Legal? Hey there, Davey Mendoka. What do you mean by legal? Am I missing something with this? Are you familiar with this rig? See if you're here. Because I got this shipped directly from NLR Racing, so there's no reason it shouldn't be a legal version. So why isn't it? I'm sure someone will download this software. Okay. Get serial number. So maybe if I can download the software, maybe it takes it from the unit. We'll see here. I'm gonna download the software, see what it does. Run. Still reads the serial number license code of your motion platform. Gotcha. All right. Well, it's not letting me enter it. So cool. I can actually plug this sucker in and it can read it. So there's that. So let's do that. I'm glad that option was there. I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm gonna unplug my. Oh shit! I need my mouse, right? I'm gonna unplug my keyboard. Wonder why it's not letting me enter it manually. That's really bizarre. And I'm using my own cable. It's probably the same, if not better, than this. And power cable. Really, really peculiar. Oh wow, they gave me the Euro plug. That's cool. Won't need that. All right, so
You need to power it out.
yeah. Well, obviously this thing takes a lot of juice. It's not gonna run by USB. So without scratching this thing up. this up. There we go. Got lights, got power, little indicators, fans on. It didn't tilt or do anything. Oh, this must be springs. All right. Again, live time, doing this live. We're doing it live. Is that this? Okay, hold on. Copy to clipboard. Oh, don't tell me that I have to. Hold on. Copy. No. Copy. Paste. What in the hell is pasting the dashes? Invalid. What in the hell is going on? So it's reading the serial number and showing me what's there. So let me switch this to desktop capture so you guys see what I'm talking about. So here's my serial number. Whatever. It's not going to affect anything, I guess. It's not a password. But here, I don't understand. So my serial number, right? Copy to clipboard, paste, enter. It's not doing anything. What is wrong with this unit? Why is this not working? It said don't use dashes right here. Please enter a serial number without the dashes. Yeah, I did that. I did that before. Right here. What? All right. Well, you're seeing it here. Closed. So I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to. Yeah, you've seen my stream. It's all right. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do here. What do we do? I can't. My serial number won't register in the software. Come on now. I'm probably just gonna have to delete this stream then. I've already unboxed it. Can you turn that off? Sorry guys, I'm just kind of stuck here on what to do. It's not accepting. I don't understand. Why? It came directly from the factory from Poland. Had they just not activated in their own software or their own system? Why would it not work? There's no point in me hooking it up and getting it underneath the rig. I mean, I guess we can still build it. I just can't confirm it works or not. So I guess we can just go through the process of installing this thing. I mean, obviously it's going to work, and I have to contact Next Level Racing to figure out why my serial number is coming up as invalid. So let's just go ahead and put this thing on, get it mounted. I'll do all the cable management later on my own time. And I'll contact Next Level Racing to figure out what's going on with the serial number. Well, that sucks. I wanted to see this thing working. I wanted to see the chariot tilted and all that. So, well, poop on me, right? Another jacked up stream. It's not my fault. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. Not my fault. It's off. Well, try not to make this as frustrating of a stream. I don't want this to be kind of like a downer. I don't understand. I'm confused on why it's not valid or it's not enabled. I'm assuming. That's neat. Looks like they have a ferrite core in here. Looks like a ferrite core. Interesting. So again, I guess let's go through this stuff. Is it a ferrite core? What the hell is that? Looks like a ferrite core. Oh, I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure why there's a ferrite core. But, alright, let's go ahead and tear this apart. Screw it. We're going to install it, and I'll get it tested and the serial number fixed on my own time. Because that's all I can do. Clearly it's not working. So, we'll go ahead all these cables aside. And the whole unboxing thing, you guys can go back to my previous video and see that unboxing. I'm going to go ahead and just set this over here out of my way. And I'm going to shift the camera. Again, sorry guys, I'm just really kind of, not necessarily flustered, just really confused. Alright, so where to begin? Let's go ahead and take off my shifter here.
We'll try to stay in frame. And I understand I put my, not necessarily string in for a while, that was covered. But if my steering wheel rolls up, if you try to download software with it, good job, but you're not gonna be able to use it because you have to match the unit. So there's no point in you knowing the steering wheel or not. So it's whatever. All right, so we're gonna take this off. I'm probably gonna land on the ground, being out of frame, and that is gonna be a couple of button head cap bolts. So it's going to be this size. Kind of pre-test fit to make sure I have the appropriate tools. Like I said, I prepped for this. Come on, get at it. I got these on there pretty tight. I have a feeling I'm going to end up sweating my ass off. And what these screws underneath here are doing are just pinching the bar. Now, I'm not going to get on a little rant about my rig. I love my rig. Would I recommend it? Depending on what kind of equipment you run. If you're running like Thrustmaster equipment, sure. But if you're running, stiff equipment, you see how this is shaking. I had to fabricate my own bracket down here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it on the screen? There's this bracket down here. We'll end up showing it when I take it off. But I had to fabricate this on my own to stiffen up the shifter because this bar going at an angle, there's a lot of forward and back play. There still is. Without it, this thing would shift a good 2 to 3 inches when shifting. So I had to fabricate a bar and put it in here. I've also fabricated some bars that are my table top right here because of the torque of the drive or the direct drive wheel. It was like trying to take this entire rig into pieces. So don't mount a direct drive wheel on here unless you expect to modify it like I did. If you want to know what I did, I can show you. I put some angle brackets under here and bolted it up with some pretty huge bolts and shirred it up. Oh, this is the hardest one to get to, I think. It's like tucked up under here. I have to crank these down. I've also shimmed these pieces with some bar stock steel because whatever aluminum they're using in these tubes, I honestly think they need to make it thicker. It's just not thick enough for even medium duty use for a simulation rig. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I pull this out. If these bolts want to come out. There we go. So I still hold that in there. Come on. Let my stuff go. Let my people go. What are we still doing? Hold on, that's right. I'm going to do my bracket that I made. Dirt. All right. So we got this. And another here somewhere. Oh my God, did I use Loctite on this? Knowing me, I did. Holy crap. Oh shit. Yep, I think I did. I think I used Loctite on it. Oh my God. Again, I've had to bolster up many aspects of this rig. There we go. And again, I'll mount this up later on my own time because there's going to have to be spacing issues regarding clearing my platform. Alright, so what I'm talking about is this bracket right here that I made. Oh, sorry, this one right here. I fabricated that and bolted it to the bottom to add forward and back rigidity. And I modified it to bolt into the back of this factory bolt hole that you can't really see. That's meant to hold the seat in. So it slides in there. It works pretty well, but it puts the shifter on a weird angle. I don't like it much. I would like to send some feedback to Next Level Racing regarding maybe modifying the rig in the future. But it is what it is. For the price, it's a pretty good purchase. But again, I would, like I said, I stuck it inside the tube that this is riding in because this steel is so thin. I don't know if we can see that. The steel
steel is so thin, you can see how I've shimmed it up with steel, because these things crush down into this very, very thin steel, and it just collapses, and there's no structural integrity. So if you do buy a GT Ultimate rig, go buy some 3/16 by 1 inch welding steel, and you're gonna have to just shim it like this to get it to be beefy, like I've got it. I see it as a flaw, and no disrespect to Next Level Racing, but I shouldn't have to do this just to be able to use a shifter on your rig. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt off here, and actually no, there's some stuff underneath I want to get done first, because once I undo these side pieces, this thing's gonna fall. So let's go ahead and get my butt kicker gamer off. And that's just an easy little screw. Can you see this at all? So butt kicker gamer 2 is a transducer. It essentially takes in audio frequency from telemetry in the game, and all it does is just shake it up and down. It adds vibration so you can have, screen here. So you have the tactile feel of like hitting bumps, road surfaces, RPMs, things like that. If you're into sim racing, these are awesome. They have bigger, better ones out there. I understand that, but for how small this rig is, it works pretty well. And this was meant to work with this unit, because that bracket right here that goes on the back is going to clamp right around here and it's going to hold it. So I kind of bought these with the notation that I was going to buy most platform in the future. So I kind of, not necessarily planned ahead, but planned ahead. Let's see here. So those are just bolted in. Just minor bolts holding in there, so probably threaded inserts. Yep, that's just threaded inserts. It's gonna be the boring part where I'm taking it apart. Okay, there, right? If you're that interested to watch a grown-ass adult take apart a toy, then you're about as awesome as I am, I guess. I'd do the same thing. I'd watch somebody do this. So what I'm doing down here are some braces. They connect down to the very, very bottom part. I'll show you after taking out one of them what it's doing. It's bracing your chair to add kind of like a T structural support. So what this is doing is it's bolted down under here, and then this is connecting to the bottom of the chair. And there's one on the other side. So you have one here and one here. It's just adding additional support. And again, I would beef up your steel, Next Level Racing. It's like my only big complaint about this rig. I love this rig, but it needs just slightly bigger steel. That's just me being nitpicky, but again, if I were to build this, I'd build it a little bit thicker, especially for the price. The price is slightly just less than like a P1. I mean, I should say slightly. It's a couple $100 less, but I mean, steel could be thicker. So what I'm doing is just disconnecting the other bracket that I just showed you. I would like to bring the camera down here, but I think it would just be so much of a cluster to have this camera being taken off this tripod and moved around, and having my son trying to shove it down my throat as I'm trying to take this apart. So we're just going to be basically down here on the floor looking at my butt while I take bolts apart. Maybe, if the bolts want to come loose. There we go. Shows you how long my rig's been put together. It's been put together for a couple of years and I've never undone these, so they probably just, through the constant vibration that this rig takes, I'll just tighten it up or just kind of locked into place. Which also another gripe I have, I'll say Next Level Racing, is that I had to buy a Gamer 2 play seat adapter and bolt it. I'll show you guys that. Bolt it through your bottom channel because your factory one that you guys had broke just simply using a Gamer 2, which kind of unsatisfactory in my opinion, just through normal use, that it broke. Like it broke the welds. Not trying to be nitpicky, that's just, you designed it for that. It should withstand at least a year. So, come on, there we go.
shouldn't fall down. These out. And these are aftermarket seatbelts. If you are curious, drop a comment down below if you're curious on what these seatbelts are. I can make a link to them. I didn't like the seatbelts that the Next Level Racing system came with. They seemed a little too thin for my purpose. Plus, these are padded. They are 50 cal racing. They're like legitimate racing harness. I put it on here. It fits a lot better, and it actually has a legitimate buckle. Instead of just like the seatbelt buckle, it actually has a clamping buckle on it. So I decided to put that on there. I thought about running it down and bolting it to the chassis, but I just screwed it in the back of the chair because all it's really doing is just providing a simulation seatbelt. It's not really holding you in. Maybe with the motion platform it'll hold you in, but for now it's not. It's just kind of there as an extra immersion factor to kind of give you the sensation of being buckled in. And I will say it does help. Being buckled in VR while sim racing adds a weird level of immersion that I can't explain. That sensation of being held back, boy, does kind of make you feel more like you're sitting inside the cockpit. Then of course you add wind, like you see up there. I have the SRS wind system, which is a wind simulation system. This thing's not following me, isn't it? What it does is in game it'll take telemetry and replicate wind. So if you're in an open cockpit vehicle, let's take all this hardware off here. If you're in an open cockpit vehicle, it'll simulate the wind speed at whatever cruising speed you're going. Or you can just turn the unit on and use it as AC, which I kind of do. I'll go ahead and disconnect my keyboard and mouse though. Hopefully nothing shuts off. It simulates wind. That's what I use it for. I just use it as a wind simulator and a AC unit because I get pretty hot when I'm sim racing. Let's see, we got another bracket right there. That's wrong size. I'll go ahead and undo my seatbelt and we'll take those off. Maybe. Where is that bolt? Oh, there it is. Already did that one. And if I can fish this out of here. Oh yeah, this is. That's holding my. Oh, that's right. That's connected to my. Come on. My keyboard tray, which I pray to baby Jesus doesn't fall on me. Please don't fall. I'm gonna have to try to loosen this up just enough to pull it out. I'm gonna be nitpicky. The keyboard tray is badass, but I've had to repair it about 10 times now because the inserts that they use for these swivel points crack super easy. Luckily for me, and how nice that Next Level Racing is, and I will say that their customer service is top notch. Why aren't you coming out? Yeah, they sent me replacement parts, but it's still just one of those things to just kind of maybe beef it up in the future. Come out of there. So this is clamped in with the same bolt. Holding, there we go. Yeah, I don't want this stuff just falling on me. Come on now. I have more stuff in here to support this so it doesn't crash on my face. Come over here and hold the chair. I recommend if you're doing this and you're putting this together, if you have like a wife or a son or a friend, have them help you because this thing can kind of be a pain in the butt regarding how heavy it is. This thing does not want to come undone. I have a bolt down here that's holding the tray. I'll show you guys here in a second. It just does not want to come undone. It kind of clamps it to the side of the brackets here. Come on. These are awfully stiff for not using Loctite. There we go. I think it's now. Hopefully set my keyboard and mouse down. What's that? Oh yeah, mouse. It's all disconnected. Get out of there. Get out of there. Come on. Come on. There we go. Set you to the side without breaking it. So this just gets bolted down to the side. You can see where the little groove sections of the bolts are. Quite literally just gets smashed between that and the rig. The pieces I was talking about, these little silver discs in here, they will crack. So if you buy this rig, contact them and request replacement ones because they're going to crack. guarantee it. I'm not rough on my rig at all. Like I baby this thing, and it's been repaired several times. Whew, all right, I'm getting kind of windy down here. If I'm breathing heavy, I apologize. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and push this back as hard as I can. And what we're going to do is, if you want to support it, we're going to get this bolt out of here. Yeah, support this. I would fold it over, but it just might make things more difficult. There we go. Just like that. So I get that bolt out for the seatbelt. Oh, that was the hardware, so the seatbelts are off. Hardware. Now, push this other bolt out, crushing my finger. Nope, we gotta get that all the way off. Now we got the tray out. It's a bit of a task to get this thing apart after you put it together. I think I had this, what, 3 years I've had this together now?
Yeah.
I almost forgot how I put it together. If you guys are captured by my awesome stream here while I'm breathing heavy into the microphone, go ahead and drop a comment in live chat and tell me how you're doing tonight. Be a lot more entertaining if you're just talking to people. Let's go ahead and lift that up. I don't want to lift it too high. Let's go ahead and what in the world? Okay, so it's twisted. This thing, we're twisting it. Go this way. Come on. This is janky. I'm gonna thread it out of here. It's getting kind of pinched, so it just doesn't want to come out. If that makes sense. Get out of there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift this up on that side. There we go. Set it over here. There you go. There you go. Okay, so what do we have underneath it there? Okay, so that's the. So I want to show that what I'm talking about. All this stuff I'm just gonna move out of the way. It's again, I'll do my. My wiring later. I just don't want this in the way. Can you go over here and lift on this, please? So I can then do my. I do a lot of cable management on my rig. It's just I like it to look nice. Go lift it up higher. There you go, just like that. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna get all this junk out of the way. And again, like I said, I'll cable manage this all later. All right, so now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. So I want to briefly show what I'm talking about the Gamer 2 bracket. That broke on me, and I didn't really feel comfortable installing another one, so I went and bought a Gamer 2. It's this electrical taped mount right here. I drilled through this main support bar, so this is gonna have to come off. But I drilled through this main support bar, bought some hardware, and made it more rigid. This thing is rock solid. It has not broken on me. So it's wrapped with electrical tape to make it better clamp. But the main one, I should have it out. You can see these holes right here, maybe. Probably not. But there's 2 holes down here. It clamps around and it's welded. The thing just broke right off. One day it felt like my transducer just stopped working. And I was like, what in the world's going on? Well, it's because it broke. So without scratching the back of my chair up here, let's go ahead and take this off, because it's going to have to come off. And this is a piece of hardware I didn't think about. I may have to run out and get a wrench, because I totally forgot that this thing existed. It's probably going to be standard. Can you go grab me a 1/2 inch instead of 1/16? Yep. As my son's doing that, I'll go ahead and start taking this apart. I totally forgot about that Gamer 2 bracket that I installed. So I had all the hardware out for that. So let's go ahead and get these side pieces off, because those are going to be replaced with the other ones. And we're going to need the big boy. Where you at? Foot here. And we need a wrench, which is going to come off no problem. And no problem. track my hardware, but it should be pretty easy to just pick up a bolt that fits and put it on there. There we go. Get that off. There we go. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and start keeping these together here. Those are going to be for the chair. So we have this back bar that's off. Something broken. Like I said, thicker metal, next level racing, thicker metal. Side bolts off. So I'm going to actually just keep these right next to where they came out of. That way, they go back where they belong. Let's see, these didn't have washers on them. Where are we at? There we are. Can you pivot that over here so they're not staring at my ass? There we are. Probably like wondering what the hell I'm doing. Because I am doing different things while my son was going to grab some stuff to take off the game kit. Alright, so we got this hardware off. And we're going to go ahead and take these out. Now what I want to pay attention to is where these came out from, because I do have the position of my seat set. There are many, many holes on this rig. Probably can't see because there's too much black in this room. But there's several holes in here so you can set the length that you want to be sitting at. And I have mine, it looks like, the very furthest forward. So I'm not necessarily the tallest dude in the world. 5'10 and a half, 5'11 on a good day. So we're going to go ahead and put these to the side. And I almost want to use the second back because I do have to adjust my seat forward. So I'm going to go ahead and put it to the second back. I can always adjust it later. Let's grab our new side panels, which are right here. Now we're going to set them over here real quick. I would like to vacuum this up. It's no dirt hay, but that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and pivot this over here and get this Gamer 2 bracket off. Yeah, I don't want to scratch the crap out of the back of my seat. All right, we got it here. Support that. Make sure I'm not pinching my lab mic audio here. This is not a part, again, that you would have normally in the rig. This is something I added or upgraded. Come on, do that. Can you grab me a 7/16 socket, shallow, with ratchet? Okay, yeah. Because this is the lock nut on here, I'll be able to get it off. So, yeah. Awesome times. So, I'm going to go ahead and set this down. I'm going to check the stream real quick. I can see it right there. Just want to see if there's any questions that I can't see from back here. Oh, I can't. Never mind. My mouse is disconnected. Let me go ahead and disconnect that. Connect that right back up. That is my mouse, yeah. You know, that is this. This is the mouse here. Give me. There we go. So here, activate. There we go. All right. So at least our mouse is back and active, so I click on things. Janky stream. This is a janky stream. Nothing like a project at 8 something at night. It's alright though. My stream was only 2 hours long. So hopefully this one won't be too long. It's been what, 45 minutes? We should have this installed probably the next 20 minutes. Alright, so that's off. We're not gonna need those again. So now we can set this to the side. Hopefully don't scratch it up again. And you stand up on your own? No. Alright, moving along. Let's put it over here. Gently, gently. We're good. Alright. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and, like I said, we're going to put it in the second hole this time because I could use a little bit more adjustment. I do have some tall friends. Second hole. And anytime you build something, I highly recommend that you put all the nuts and bolts on just finger snug so you can shift things around to make it nice and straight, then cinch it up. If you start cinching them up one at a time, it'll be kind of cockeyed, or you might not be able to get that last bolt in because it's not going to line up. So, not necessarily pro tip, just builder's tip. So, we'll do that. We get our back piece here. And we want that on the inside, don't we? Yep. Pop that in here. Snug it. So we're doing the second hole. Snug it up. And we have an extra nut that I don't need. Get that nut. Put it here. Do my best without scratching any of these awesome anodizing that's on here. Or powder coating. Powder coating? It's powder coated. So go ahead and shift everything forward. Make sure it's all nice and seated. And then we will cinch it down. These, I'm not too worried about cinching it all down because these will flex a little bit. Well, you know what? There are 4 holes up here. Let's go ahead and leave this all loose until we get that top piece on. Just let's play it safe. Now, this comes the hard part. This thing weighs 60 pounds. And trying to keep it up off the ground while putting bolts in is going to be the hard part. And that's what these are for. As I just threw them across the room. Across the room here. So I'm going to have to have my son hold this up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So are we using all these holes, or is there only one here? So I'm assuming we're only going to use 4 holes or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're only going to use 6. That makes sense. Because there's only essentially 6 holes, right? So there's only, yeah, all right. Yeah, there's only 6 holes inside. All right, so we need to have you, Preston, be the big beefy boy, and it didn't come with any nuts for it, so they just get bolted in just like that. So what you're gonna do, or you know what, I can hold it if you want to run the nuts in or the bolts in. It's up to you. All right, so it's not heavy. It's just you can't hold this up by yourself. So yeah, so we're gonna have to just go ahead and hold it in there like that, and depending on where I want to sit. So since I have the furthest most, let's go ahead and place it in the back here. That makes sense? See how the holes are lined up? Can you guys see that? So I'm going to place bolts in there. So I'm going to go ahead and lift it, lower it into here. I'll move the brackets and start running in bolts. I would say that this is definitely a 2-man job. If you're capable of doing it on your own, cool, but don't blow your butt out doing it. All right, so this one's going to be lined up back here. Lift it up. Down. Okay, we're going to slide it forward. We're going to run these in. I'm not doing them super tight. Get lower down slightly in the front. Alright, those are the side over here. I'm going to not let you. Okay, we're going to lower it down. Oh, lift up. Shift it back slightly. There we go. That's good. No, back forward. And I am sweating my butt off now. And you should be able to let go now. Awesome. See? Use a team for this, because there's no way I would have done it by myself. You guys would have been laughing at me going to hit the jack, trying to support this thing. So this thing's actually sitting not very high off the ground. So I'm definitely going to have to do some rerouting of cables later on my own. That's going to take me a couple hours to reposition that, because I'm going to have to run something underneath. Because this is going to go back here. So yeah, so there's 4 bolts back here, which I'm assuming what these are for. mount my, I'm gonna have to do that now, because once I get the seat on, I'm not gonna be able to get to it. So I'm gonna have to mount that after I'm done tightening these up, so we'll do that. So I guess I will be mounting it. That's cool. Again, like I said, I've never installed one of these, so learn as you go kind of thing. Alright, now we're gonna use this big boy. Run these in without scratching my nice new side pieces. And I like to, when I'm cinching things down, I kind of like to wiggle it as a finger tightening. To me, it seems to help center things. I kind of do it for lug nuts on a car. I'll wiggle the rim, and you can kind of feel the lug nuts tighten down a little bit further before you go ahead and hammer them on and start stripping studs. That's nice. Firm. So I'm going to go ahead and crank down the ones on the bottom, get those tightened up, and we'll come back to these and cinch them down. Use the open end here. And that should be snug, good enough. If need be, I can always tighten them up later. Almost want to turn the fan on, but it might make too much noise. It might interrupt the audio of the stream here. And that should be good. I'm actually surprised at how low this sits. Because where the brackets at, when having one of those brackets, I understand why they are. Christ. Because you're matching, I'm going to like it that it's going to be a more low profile, because you're matching the height of the chair here. I get that. That's awesome. I just didn't expect it to sit so low, which I'm fine with. I'll grab it. I dig it. All right, so cinch this one up. Lose the train of thought here, right? Cinch the back ones up. I'm going to do the front ones. Which luckily I can do with a wrench. These ones are exposed. If I use the right wrench. There we go. Again, you don't want to like over tighten these bolts, because again, like I was talking about earlier, the steel is rather thin, and it feels like you're starting to crush it. You're crushing it. So don't, because all you're going to be doing is stress fatiguing the steel. Actually, is this probably aluminum or is it steel? Yeah, it's steel. You're going to stress fatigue the steel, so just don't do it. Don't over tighten it. If you think it's tight, it's probably too tight, kind of thing. I'm going to have to write an email here soon. Let Matthew know, because I've been dealing with firsthand with Matthew. He's been amazing. If you guys deal with next level racing, and you talk with Matthew, he's a pleasure to talk to. He's a super nice guy. I'd like to meet him in person. I'd like to buy him a beer or coffee or whatever he drinks. I probably gloated about his service in prior video. I haven't talked to a customer service guy that nice before. It's just kind of weird. In a refreshing way. So cables I'm going to have to run, down and over here somehow. I might actually have to buy a custom length power cable. No, I'll just run it over there, and then I'll have to order some custom length stuff, because I'm a stickler for cable management to where you just don't see anything. So that'll be on my own time. So let's go ahead and tighten up these ones. I'm going to tighten up the middle first, since it's central. And don't over tighten. Should be good. Me being the mechanic and weirdo, I kind of wish they'd give you torque values, but then again, they can't really expect everybody to own a torque wrench. But I'd feel more comfortable putting these in with proper torque. I'm just that level of weirdo. That way I know that I'm not exceeding manufacturer's spec. I don't know, whatever. To each their own, right? Man, I'm super excited to use this thing, but I wanted to fire it up and get it moving around at least. I wanted to play with the software so you guys could see it moving with the seat and me sitting in it moving around before I actually drove in it, but not going to be a possibility in this stream, so that's alright. We'll get it installed. and at least this could be maybe a hour and 15-minute long stream of putting it together. Ooh, this one doesn't feel like it's getting tight. Oh, there we go. Kind of worried that that threaded insert was being pulled out. All right, so snug. I always go back over things, especially since I'm talking, to reaffirm that I did actually tighten it, because the last thing you want to do is forget that you actually did tighten one, or didn't tighten one, and it shakes apart while you're in it, and it breaks. So just always double check. All right, so now, I have these nuts and boots. So we have four. Okay, so 4 nuts and bolts, and 4 washers. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is for the Gamer 2. And I can already tell this is going to be somewhat of a complication of getting in there. If you want to do me a favor, Preston, go match this up. I guarantee this is metric. Go match this up with a metric wrench. It's more likely 8mm or something like that. Yeah, probably 8mm. Because I'm going to have to stick that up behind it to tighten it down. Which, yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm going to do the top ones first, because obviously if you get the bottom ones put in first, you're not going to be able to access the top ones. This seems a little bit fiddly already. I'm going to have to, yep, can I get that threaded on there? There we go. I'm not even going to bother threading them all in there, because I want this bracket loose, so I can get everything mounted. So, bottom, get that nut on it. Sweat my butt right off. This is the fun part of the stream. Alright, so there we go. There's that one. And we'll go ahead and do the top one while he's grabbing that wrench. Luckily, I don't have big old meat claws. I got dainty. No, not dainty, but I wear medium-sized gloves, so it actually helps with being a mechanic. I can squeeze my hands in areas that I generally couldn't get if I had big giant meat claws. So we'll wait for him to come back. Shouldn't be that hard to go grab a wrench. Now let's grab the right Allen. What you got? Can't find it?
No, it's larger than any of the small ones you had, so it's one of these.
So I have a wrench over there already? You're going to make me jump off stream? I might have to have you stand here and do a dance while I go grab the wrench then.
Hold on. You got more wrenches over here.
Oh, they're there. I know I brought a bunch out here. Is that it?
Yeah, 10.
Is it 10? I think 10. So it's a 10mm. That's too tiny to be a 10mm. Wow. Alright, well. Color me shocked. It just seems like a really small nut for a 10mm. It feels like an 8. Whatever. It's a 10mm. So. Which makes sense because it's a 10mm Allen, so 8mm, so that will be 2 sizes bigger. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this on. Again, this is probably the most fiddly part that I've got to deal with. Can I get it? Can I get it started? Good? I think it's there. Alright. So, we're going to use this. I was just looking the wrong one, wasn't I? It's 5mm. So who knows? 5mm, 10mm? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this hardware. So, how the balls do you, because they're using lock nuts, do I have to put these on backwards with the lock nuts facing out? If that's what I have to do, that's what I shall do, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Get those cranked in there. Wow. Well, at least I know it's not going to break. It's got 4 bolts holding it on. It's really beefy. What I'm worried about is how the Gamer 2 is going to actually perform with this motion platform, because the Gamer 2s, they work great, but they're not very strong. That's why there's better options out there that are a lot more expensive, but as an all-in-one package, the Gamer 2 is pretty awesome. Because it comes with the amplifier, which you can't see, it's off screen. It comes with the amplifier, it comes with all the hardware. It's somewhat Mobile, it comes with a remote. My remote, it's a tethered remote. I don't use them because once you get it set, it's pretty much set. So it's an all-in-one package for I think $170. They're awesome. But if I were to upgrade my rig in the future, I'm totally going and buying a bigger butt kicker. Or there's different systems out there that I'll definitely go with. So let me go ahead and cinch this down now. So this is going to be probably the most long part, is me just cinching down bolts. And I'd leave them loose, but I don't think I'll be able to get to them in the future with the chair on. Right now my wrench is stuck. Move back to this one, cinch it down, and then I'll get the bottom ones off. If you're watching the stream after the fact, just go ahead and fast through this part. Because it's just, so it's going to be, I'll probably spend the next 8 minutes cinching these little nuts down because they're just hard to get to, and I'm using an Allen. Because I don't have millimeter or millimeter metric Allen sockets. All I have are standard. So I have to use just Allen keys, which I hate. But no, I don't have them.
I might have some.
That's alright. And it's on there. Okay, and it's on there. So, let's go ahead and move this again without scratching everything up. I will say that the finish on this thing is quite nice. I'm rather impressed with the finish on it. Then again, for a $3,000 unit, it better be nice and hold up to what you call the abuse. Come on. And I'm not struggling with this because it's hard. It's a nylon lock nut. So I'm having to fight that lock nut, having it pass through the nylon. There we go. And get it cinched down. Alright, so what's gonna be next for us? We're putting the seat on, right?
Probably, yeah.
I'm not gonna mount my keyboard because it's just basically gonna go in 2 bolts that you loosen, so people can figure that out, and they're not gonna be able to see it anyways. So I'll attach my keyboard and tray on my own later, because I have to run cables and whatnot.
You want to put the butt kicker on next, or?
No, because I have to route that too, because it's got a cable. I'm gonna probably have to disconnect it further up my system and reroute these cables, because the butt kicker is going to have to go on here and go underneath, so I'll be able to do it, because the chair is going to sit right here. I'll be able to mount it, no problem. So the butt kicker won't be an issue. It's just literally everything else. And man, I'm having a hard time keeping this wrench on this nut. It just does not want to cooperate. It's almost like they have these two freaking close together. Use the open end. Almost too close, but you can't get a wrench on there. There we go. I want this tight. Alright. One more bolt, and you guys can stop fast forwarding. And again, I'm talking after the fact as if you guys were watching this live stream. Later on down the road. Man, this is where I would like to have the unit powered on, so I can go in the software and tilt this. Because you can step things, you can forward and aft and make it tilt and just stay that way. It'll make it so much easier to get to. It's another reason I was kind of hoping to get it up and running, but now I'm having to basically struggle with this while it's off and not being able to tilt it. And it makes it even more fiddly. That's okay, we're going to get it on. I just again prefer to have make it easier time on myself. Still in the back of my mind confused on why the serial number's not cooperating. Hopefully Matthew will have some answers for me tomorrow, because if you're in the United States and you try to contact Australia, you're going to be basically playing email tag the day after each other. Come on. So if you email him, you're going to probably get an email sometime around 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. You'll email him, then he'll get it his next day. So you're going to get one email a day. So I'm going to expect the emails to be fast, but that's understandable because they're in a different time zone. Is this even going in? This is like the perpetual threads. There we go. It doesn't want to. Scratching my unit up. There we go. We're almost done. Just one more little cinch down. We can move on. All right, there we go. So butt kicker, pretty rigid. I'm impressed with that. I'm digging it. I get sweat over this thing. All right, so next is the chair. So how are we going to mount the chair? Because clearly you have to use the brackets that are on here already. So we have to mount into here. Okay, so we're going to come up underneath with hardware we don't have. So wait a minute. This comes off. Yeah. Okay, so this comes off and the chair gets mounted directly in there. Wait, no, that's a slider, right? Hold on, let's see here. Yeah, so that needs to stay in there. So you bolt up through it. But we bolted to the side. So what I need is hardware to mount this sucker. These are going to have to come out. And that's what gets bolted up underneath. Interesting. Okay. Did not expect that. I mean, I guess you could hard mount this, right? But wouldn't you want to keep the slider? Tell me the directions. Does it say not to use the slider? No, you have to. You have to use the slider. Never mind, because how else am I going to put my shifter on there, right? You have to. So, now I'm confused. How do I mount my shifter? Is this going to go in here? It's clearly, yeah, you got these bolts back here. So when I get some hardware, so Preston, you know where my hardware bag is for Next Level Racing stuff? It's in a cold cylinder. I have a ton of extra hardware it came with. Was not anticipating that I need to pull out hardware because I figured it would come with it all. But I'm gonna have to use hardware. I should just bolt right in there like that. But what I can do is set this on there and get an idea of where it needs to sit. And this came out, which I don't remember where that went. Application here. There we go. You're gonna need a flashlight. Okay. So we're gonna set this on here. Carefully about scratching it. All right. And again, without scratching anything, this thing's kind of lopsided. So what we're gonna do to get this mounted is we're gonna fold the seat forward. There is little side adjustments right here, so make it recline. So we're gonna recline it so it's more centered. I'm assuming I can do this, or is it gonna be a problem because of my rig in the way? Nope. All right, we're gonna have to move this forward. Seat adjustment. As far as forward is gonna get amazing. Oh, look at that. Scratch the shit out of the back of this. That's amazing. Good job, Mike. Try not to do that. Big old gouge. Might see it on screen, but damn it. Scratch the paint. Well, I wanted to wrap this thing in vinyl anyways. Maybe it gives me a reason to do so now. So, this is going to be mounted here and there. Okay, so here and there. So, basically, it's very, very interesting how this is going to mount on here. Or not. Okay, so now I'm super confused. How does this bolt on here? Oh, well, damn. All right. These come out and they go through all of that? What? Okay, well, I don't know what to say now. Now I'm kind of confused. All right. Yes, you see that? Just scratch the back of this up. All right, so what's going to happen now is this, it doesn't mount to these. It mounts on these. So these are going to have to come off, I think. And it's going to run through that in here. So are those even long enough? And there's nuts. How the balls do you do that? I want to say, man, so I might have to take the chair off the rail, and yeah, so we're gonna have to install this rail first, and then install the chair. All right, news to me, you didn't know that. So that's just gonna complicate things. You want to spin that around over here? Oh, you got it. Cool. Look at that. Look at you. Look at you on top of the bomb. So yeah, we're gonna have to undo this. So this is a lot more in-depth than I thought it was gonna be. There's no way we're gonna mount this with a chair in the way. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. So this just threads into the seat, I believe. I'll be able to shift it around once it's on top. So these go in the actual seat, set those aside. Go in here. Come on. Get in there. There we go. I'm gonna hope it's not like a nut that falls down that I can't get to, which it almost looks like it is. Hope I'm not breaking this by taking it out. I almost feel like I am. Hope it's not what I'm doing with breaking this by taking these out. Feel like I am. Feel like I'm doing this wrong. I don't understand how you're supposed to put this on then. Yeah, these don't come off. They do, but they're like permanently. Yeah, great. That's not tightening up because whatever that was in there is falling off. Well, fuck. Alright. I'll come to this. And we're going to have to peel this back somehow to get to it. Well, that's going to have something I have to do on my own time then because I think I just broke it. So don't do that. Don't take off those. There's these bolts right here. So that's going to be something I have to fix later on. So that blows. I'm assuming it probably says that in the instructions, so if I read it right, I'm assuming it would say you don't do that. So I'm going to put this back in here. I wonder if I can even throw that back in now. Great. I think I just broke it. I think I just broke my chair. That's neat. Come in. Yeah, it's fine. Not catching anything. Alright, well that's something I have to fix, because I'm an idiot. Apparently these don't come out, so I have to rip my seat apart to get to them, which, whatever, no big deal. Where's that spring at? You see where I put that? No? Oh, that's what happens when I start getting sweaty in here. You're already confused with what's going on. What the hell did I do with that spring? There it is. That holds this on here. I'll do that on my own time. I will rectify that, because I can't use the motion platform anyways. I'll just wrinkle that down. Okay, so, so you have to take these out and run that through. That doesn't seem like, that seems like it's going to be a pain in the ass to try to bolt up. So what we have are 4 bolts and nuts that are tucked up under the rail itself, which, let me see here, if I pull that all the way, get to them that way, just barely get to them. It's amazing. Okay, so I guess that's the way it goes. And I guess it has just enough to thread through. This just bolts it up through there. It's the only way. So, there's that one. Have to get really greasy. You can grab a paper towel. Your hands are gonna get greasy apparently.
Well, in the instructions, do not remove any screws that keep the seat rails attached to the chair.
Ha! Got it! That's alright. I can take the seat pad off and fix it. Not a big deal.
Paper towels.
So yeah, don't do what I did. Read the instructions. Because these don't come off. Apparently. Not supposed to, at least. That's alright. I'll fix it. I will fix it. I'll get it fixed somehow. So now we spin this. And then we're going to get to these ones. Wow, what a pain in the ass. So maybe these are going to be the most fiddly part. I'm trying to get these nuts and bolts on here. Where'd that go? Yeah, somewhere here. Thank you. So where did that nut go? Okay, so that's that. Did that nut fall on the ground? Missing something? Where'd these go? More ways went through?
Probably wasn't in here.
Oh no, that's right. Well, I already got the nuts out. Alright, those are those. I'm losing train of thought because I'm just many moving parts. So this moves right here. Then you take that out. Luckily these aren't like super high on here. Alright, so there's that. This is gonna get transition over here. Just like that.
Yeah, over the nipples.
Yeah, and then you put the chair on there and thread it through the bottom. Again, that's going to be super fiddly. We'll wipe all this dust off of here. Alright, so go ahead and get first we can get. Let's go ahead and get the back ones first. So that's down. Right there. That. Again, I'm gonna have to fix these somehow. Hopefully that's not just like threaded into the fiberglass, we'll just have to JB weld it. That's okay. I don't want to get grease on the pad here. Alright, so I'm gonna need your help there, Guy. So what we're gonna have to do is actually extend this up because it's not gonna sit down in a folded state because it'll so we'll actually weird it out here a little bit, like how far forward it sits now. So what I need you to do is to pull this down and pull that up real quick. Push it. Use my knee. This is a strong boy here. Not good enough. Alright, let's lift it up. And we're gonna set it down gently. Okay. Now what you're gonna need to do is come over here and support it. And get this pivoted over. And I'm going to start feeding through bolts and nuts. And we're going to hopefully get this bad boy installed. Alright, so what we're going to do, Preston, is we're going to lift it up. We're going to get the back ones installed first. They're back here. Right, so there. And this is very, very fiddly. I kind of want to drop the nut or the bolt in first. Can I get the bolt myself up there? No, let's do the bottom. Okay, so is there going to be enough thread on that? This is, see what we're doing here. Put the bolt up to the bottom. There we go, let's hold it down. There we go. Again, we're going to stitch these down later. Okay. That doesn't seem like there's enough freaking threads on there. Oh, the wrong side of it. What the right size. Here's the problem, is trying to get it to. I almost want to do the nuts on the bottom. Can we slide this back? Because if we can do the bolts shifted. I think we can. I'd rather have the nuts down. Oh yeah, we can do it that way. Okay, we're going to do it the other way. We're going to flip these bolts around. There it is. That can go down here. So what I want to do is go ahead and get a nut on that. I'm going to switch this other one around. Oh my god, I can't see what I'm doing. There we go, there's that. That is going to be a pain in the ass to tighten out. Where's the wrench so I can at least snug that up? This one, right? Size was it? Too big. Go. So. Slide that back. Yeah, this is definitely. Might have to go get a socket. Go grab me a 13mm deep well. And we were going to ratchet. What size is this? 7/16. Just give me a 13mm deep well. And I'll start threading all these in here. And like this one, it's going to attach. Okay, there we go. I apologize. This is kind of boring, but that's all this is basically going to be is a build of the motion platform. So we're going to get this. And there we go. This through. It's in. Thank you. And then we'll go ahead and we'll cinch these down here. I'm going to have to get all these bolts in. We'll shift this one. Getting there. It's almost looking like a motion rig, right? Almost, except it doesn't work right now because the serial number's not operational for whatever reason. But that's, again, we'll figure out later. That's, of course, after I fix my chair, because I jacked that up a second ago. But I didn't have time to read the directions because, you know, I'm a guy. We don't do that, do we? Sometimes. Sometimes. When it matters, you should. Actually, you should read the directions all the time. And this is going to be the hardest one because this is at a weird angle. I can appreciate the tight package that they've made with this, but man, it's almost too tight. Like where the hell is the bolt tight? Or the hole? There it is. And did we go through? Did we go through? Did I get left out? Did I luck out? No, we didn't luck out. Where's that? Come on, get in the hole. Get in the hole. Or don't go in the hole. I can't see where it's at. I'm in this corner right here. Ha! Got you, you son of a beach. I'm gonna go over here and push on this chair. I need some weight to. Ow, that's my finger. Like push on the chair itself. There we go. Wow, looks like not enough thread coming through there. Oh, don't tell me that this bolt doesn't have enough thread. Oh well. Oh, because it's not pushed down all the way, I don't think. No, it's not. There we go. Wow, that is very hard to get to. If you're watching this and you put one together, what was your experience on putting this together? Did you find these bolts down here to be probably the hardest part? Because I am. Holy crap, are these hard. Can you hand me an Allen? Just that one right there. Because I have to push this down. It's just not wanting to go down. Like it's not seating down all the way. Like at all. And I haven't even cinched these other ones down, so good thing I didn't. Wow. This doesn't want to go down at all. Can you go grab a flathead screwdriver? Because this one just is fighting, not wanting to go in. Woo-wee! Who said this is gonna be a workout getting this thing in here? Holy crap! Man, I don't even have these down here. These are all loose. It just does not want to go down. So we'll use a little bit of leverage and we'll force it down. So we're at an hour and a half now. First half an hour is probably what unboxing, talking about it, trying to get the thing working. So it seems like this is going to be probably about a 2-hour job. It's going to be about a 2-hour job to get yours installed, assuming you have a helper. So I would highly recommend you use somebody to help you. Wow, this bolt just does not want to go in. Like, this is nuts how this is fighting saying, no guy. There we go, you SOB. I will win. Maybe, oh, maybe not. Okay, there we go. It's half-assed already. You want to hand me, let's go ahead and cinch this one up first. Hand me that, I believe it was that size, right? Oh no, I can't get to it. Never mind, I need Allen on top. Oh, it fell off, you dirty, dirty loot. Dirty, dirty sleep. Oh my god. This bolt is just, it is the worst. It's the worst. The worst bolt. It's saying no. I'm kind of worried there's not going to be enough threads on here to even pull this down. Like, this is kind of nuts that it's not wanting to go in. Alright, so. Can't even get a socket wrench. I can't. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to use a box end. This is ridiculous. Okay, that seems like an engineering flaw. The fact is you can't get to this nut, so you're gonna have to walk this on. Yeah, how the hell do you get this tightened? Wow. Okay, so. Wow, this is a bit ridiculous. I'm having to use it upside down. Okay, well you know what, we're just gonna leave it like this. It's essentially put together. No, Rocky, what are you doing? These aren't tightened yet. Like, so the problem is these nuts. These nuts! Ha! Got me! I just can't get to them. So what I'm gonna do is hopefully tighten these ones down since those ones are up there. This is weird. You can't get to these nuts at all. It almost doesn't seem like it's enough. It almost seems like these need to be longer. Does it say to use longer ones?
So just use the original.
Really? Doesn't seem very smart. These are quite short.
Attach the top frame of the motion unit to the original underseat frame and the seat rails using the 4 original GT Ultimate bolts.
Make it longer, next level racing, because there's barely any threads on here. And I'm not using any washers, so. I mean, I'm sure it'll hold fine, but just
I'm using this wrench on this wrench to make leverage, so I can tighten this up. Luckily, these nuts seem like they're lock nuts, and they're staying put while I cinch this down. So I might have to do this the other side. Alright, so we got that. And we're almost done with 2 more cinching down. I should have this, what you would call, kind of done. The rest of it I'll do on my own time, but I wanted to get the main thing set up here live. Wow. I can't get this wrench in there. I'm cracking my head on that thing, aren't I? Let's hope not. Is there anything in the instructions like giving me hints? Because a certain position that I can get this Allen on. Okay, so you're gonna have to position the chair a certain way to get your Allen in there, just barely. There's not enough clearance down here to cinch the nut down with any sort of wrench or socket. So I'm going to have to get these kind of snugged on my own. And then use this to cinch it down. Oh my god. This could be a little bit designed better to make it a little more user friendly. I'm used to building stuff, but this is, you've got bolts in way too tight of spaces. Like way too tight of spaces. Scratch my unit. Now I know why I see people with scratched up next level racing units. Because you're essentially installing these things in such tight spaces that you're scratching the living piss out of them because you're dropping tools or dragging stuff across it. I mean, it's a sim rig, it's going to get used, it's a tool essentially, but oh my god, I can't even get this thing in there. What are we doing? Get in there. Get in the hole. Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad. Dad, why can't I get her in there? It's like I want to drop in the Allen recess. What in the hell? I just had it in there. WTF? There we go. Hell. Alright, this is tight enough. So now we have just one more. One more and it's essentially on there. I'm not going to sit on it because I got to fix the seat. I'll do that on my own. Now, here's the hardest one again. You won't be able to see me, but it's just kind of here, over here, trying to find my way. Man, I wish I could show you guys this, but it'd be way too complicated to get the camera down in here to see how just ridiculously close this hardware is. Like, there's no way you can have the nut where I was going to put it originally. Okay. Can we tighten this the way I want to? Can we do it? Can we cinch it down? Can we move it? Oh my god, is it going? If I can just get this in here again. I really can't see what I'm doing. I even have light underneath my rig, providing me ambient light to help get in here. Wow, this is probably one of the most fiddly things I've had to do in years. I can't get my finger in there. That's what she said, or he said, depending on your, sexual preference. All right, there we go. One more torque, and I think we've got it. Assuming again, if I can get this back in that Allen keyhole. You have to do this blind, like you're having to go by feel, and there's barely enough space for my medium-sized fingers to where if you're a big dude, I feel bad for you. You're gonna have a hard time doing this. You're gonna have your wife come over here and do this, or your girlfriend, because I can't get my finger on there. I'm starting to get cramps. In this weird ankle. Oh man. Oh my god. Can you give me a flashlight or something? Because I can't see anything. Like I just can go on my feel. This is riveting live stream footage, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching a man struggle with a single 10mm bolt that he can't see because it's hidden underneath the friggin' landscape of the seat. It doesn't help that this is shallow. Oh my lord. You're limited, the space you're in is limited. I don't ever want to take this apart again. Oh. My neck's getting tired. Oh my god, this is, might just call this done. Oh my god, there it is. It's sat in there. There we go, let's get it cinched down. Alright, thank god, alright, we're done. We are effing done. Again, I have to fix my seat, because I was a dumb baby, and unbolted it. So what's going to have to happen is, this pad comes off. Wow, we could time the vacuum underneath there. And we're going to have to pull the spoth up, get this pad out, which I'll just have to re-glue down, no big deal, and hopefully fix that bolt. But anyways, it's rocky to begin because the bolts aren't tight up there. But that's the motion platform that's essentially installed. What's going to have to be on my own time is mounting the shifter, which is going to go back, luckily, mount back to the same hole. So that'll move in conjunction with the rig, so your shifter and your e-brake will move with the platform. That's rather nice. But of course, you know, it's a seat mover, so you're not having your feet move and you're not having your wheel move. So anyways, I don't want to make this any longer. I'm probably already boring the crap out of everybody that's here. These nuts, got it! So it's on, just a pain in the arse, it's a struggle. I gotta fix one piece. I gotta fix those bolts, which I'll do on my own time. I'll mount up my shifter on my own time, but you guys get it that it goes in here. And with my supplementary bracket that I made, I'll mount it up. That'll do all my wiring and cable management. I'll get the butt kicker mounted on the back, which goes back here, so it looks like it's going to be jettisoning off the back. I don't know if you'll be able to see it if I kind of somewhat mount it on there. I don't know if it's going to reach around. I guess it will. So that's going to go right here like this. I guess we can go ahead and get it kind of this on there. Since, what are we doing? So this has got a bar that goes around a seat type clamp. The clamp on. I guess I'll go ahead and install that now. I'll just cinch it up later. That's what we're going to have to tighten that down too. So there's that. So I'll get that cinched down later. So this thing's going to be hanging off the back. I kind of don't like that. Mine prior was, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's the butt kicker right here. But I guess I like providing some extra leverage, and this is going to be moving, so it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and call this stream. It's been pretty long. It's almost 2 hours. It's on screen. It's a lot longer than I expected. I'll contact Next Level Racing to ask them why my serial number is not working, which is weird, because I wanted to fire this up to make sure it works. I'm out of breath. I'm sweaty. I need a shower. And hopefully here in about a week, maybe a week and a half, depending on my schedule, I'll get this all fired up, and I'll make a video of my first impression. I'm going to leave what car and what course, either rally or GT3 or something that I choose to do my first impression of this motion platform. I haven't really figured out what I want to do yet, but I have something in mind. So anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this string. Probably have to plug in my mouse, and I'll fix all this stuff my own time. But hopefully you guys, if you are watching this after the fact, gained a little bit of knowledge and insight on what you may be faced with and what not to do. Like take bolts out of the bottom of your chair. So learn from my mistakes. That's the whole purpose of this video.
I was expecting to run into complications and what I had to resolve it. So hopefully if you're watching this and you watch it make it all the way through here and you see my complications, don't run into them. So anyways, we'll go ahead and call this stream. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and I will have another stream next Wednesday. It will probably be some more bone works to finish off that story. And yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Have a good night.